So welcome along to another episode of the Business of Hearing podcast, and it's me and AI here.
Hello. Looking forward to diving into these questions with you on the podcast. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Business of Hearing podcast, the #1 marketing and practice growth podcast for high-performing private practice hearing care leaders. It's Friday, and this is my end-of-week roundup of what's top of mind after 7 days of helping some of the world's best private practices to attract high-quality patients, fight the evil forces of manufacturer-owned chains, and be impossible to compete with. My name's Ollie Luke. Pull up a chair, pour yourself a drink, and let's have a chat. All right, so give me some vibes, right? Manufacturer-owned chains right now are consolidating buying practices left, right, and centre. What impact do you think it's going to have on privately owned clinics?
Well, when manufacturers start consolidating and buying up practices, it can really shake things up for privately owned clinics. One major impact is increased competition, which can make it harder for independent clinics to stand out. They might feel pressure to join larger networks or align with manufacturers to stay competitive. It could also lead to changes in pricing and access to certain technologies, which might affect how private clinics operate.
Gotcha. And give us some predictions, right? If we go a few years in the future based on trends in other industries where so much consolidation has occurred, what are we seeing?
Looking ahead, if the hearing care industry follows similar patterns to other fields, we might see a few things. First, there could be a handful of major players dominating the market, making it tougher for smaller practices to compete. We might also see more standardized care models with less customization for individual patient needs due to the push for efficiency and cost effectiveness. On the flip side, there could be advancements in technology and treatment options as these big players invest in research and development.
So, to interrupt you, you're a privately owned practice and you're seeing all this mass consolidation, or your competitors have bigger budgets, bigger advertising spends, lower costs of goods. What would you be doing?
If I were running a privately owned practice in this scenario, I'd focus on what sets us apart. Personalized care and building strong relationships with our patients can be our edge. I'd invest in staff training to ensure top-notch service and expertise. Also, leveraging local marketing and community involvement can help boost our visibility.
So give me some insights into Give me some insights into local marketing. Like, what would you do?
For local marketing, I'd start by getting active in the community. Sponsoring local events, health fairs, or sports teams can boost visibility. Building relationships with local physicians and businesses for cross-referrals is key too. I'd also focus on local SEO to ensure the practice shows up in online searches, and use social media to share patient testimonials and educational content. It's all about being present and engaged where your patients are.
Gotcha. And what would be the ROI on local marketing? Because it's difficult to measure, right?
Yeah, measuring ROI on local marketing can be tricky, but it's definitely doable. You'd look at metrics like new patient inquiries, referral rates, and website traffic before and after campaigns. Using unique promotional codes or tracking numbers can help trace where new patients are coming from. While it might not be as clear-cut as digital marketing, the increase in community presence and patient loyalty often pays off over time.
Nice. And let's change this up a bit. Let's talk AI, given it's somewhat relevant right now. Outside of hearing technology, how do you think AI is going to impact the audiology profession?
AI is likely to revolutionize audiology beyond just hearing technology. For starters, AI could enhance diagnostic processes, making them quicker and more accurate by analyzing data from hearing tests more efficiently. It can also help in personalizing treatment plans by predicting outcomes based on large data sets. Plus, AI-powered apps and tools could offer patients more interactive and engaging ways to manage their hearing health.
So speak to me honestly. 10 years' time, where do you see the hearing care profession?
Honestly, in 10 years, I see the hearing care profession being much more tech integrated. We might have even smarter hearing devices with AI that adapt in real time to different sound environments. Teleaudiology could become a norm, making remote consultations and follow ups more common. I also think there'll be a greater emphasis on preventative care and early detection, with more people getting regular hearing checkups as part of their routine health screenings.
Gotcha. And let's just talk about, we're talking heavy levels of technology, but keeping in mind most people with a hearing challenge are beyond the age of 70. Is that not going to be an issue? Are we not speaking like the wrong audience who won't understand the technical abilities that you're talking about?
That's a valid concern. While technology is advancing, it's crucial that these innovations are user friendly, especially for older adults. Manufacturers and audiologists need to prioritize simplicity in design and offer comprehensive support and education to help patients understand and use their devices effectively. It's about finding that balance between cutting edge tech and ease of use.
So,
Plus, as
sorry to interrupt. So audiology is a profession. Like, we're talking about hearing health still being so prominent in 10 years, but somebody physically in a location that requires patients to come to them for hands-on care, do you think that's got a place in the world in 10, 20 years' time?
I think there's always going to be a need for in-person audiology care, especially for services that require a hands-on approach. That I believe there will still be a need for in-person audiology care in 10 to 20 years, especially for services that require hands-on attention.
All right, so
like fittings.
You're a private practice clinic owner right now. What moves would you be making, given your prediction of the future, if you wanted to spearhead that and be at the forefront of it to benefit from it? What would you be doing today in 2014? 2014,
To stay
2024.
No worries. In 2024, as a private practice clinic owner, I'd focus on a few key areas. First, I'd invest in the latest hearing technologies to offer a mix of in-person and remote care. Then, I'd prioritize staff training to ensure top-notch personalized service. Building strong relationships with local healthcare providers for referrals would be crucial, as well as
You all right, love? She's gone.
What's been the biggest challenge you've seen private practices face in this evolving market? And how have you seen them overcome it?
Gotcha. The biggest one always comes down to its value proposition, right? It's standing out in a very, very busy, crowded marketplace where there's many alternative options, including doing nothing for many patients, and defining a significant point of difference they can lean into and own, which doesn't require them to outspend other advertisers in the market to gain attention, but very much just own their lane. That's the biggest one that I've seen as a challenge, and defining it and well articulating it and then proving they are who they say they are has seriously been the biggest move that many practices have made in order to become very difficult to compete with and own part of their industry and marketplace.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like if you can clearly define what makes you unique, you're not just another option, but the go-to choice for patients. So how do you help practices, find and communicate that unique value effectively?
Yeah, and the big part is defining it, right? It's what is it? If you have to create a list of all the reasons you're different in your marketplace or all the ways that you stand out, that's one activity. Get that list very, very thorough, map it out, all the little things where you feel you're better than everybody else. The second one then is a SWOT analysis of competitors. Let's look at all your competitors, understand who they are, work out what their kryptonite is. And if we can combine strengths of a practice with the kryptonites of their competitors, then we create a very, very sharp razor edge value proposition that stands out in the marketplace, nobody else can compete with, and very much tells the truth of the practice.
I like that approach. It's strategic and really digs deep into what makes a practice special. So, how do you get practices to effectively communicate that value to patients, especially in a way that feels, authentic and not too salesy?
Yeah, and this is as a marketer, the only thing you can do is tell the truth, right? If you're trying to manipulate the truth and polish up a version of a non-truth in order to make it attractive, then that's not a fun game for anyone, and that's why sometimes advertising and marketing can have a slightly bad reputation, right? Good marketing is take a truth and then just polish it really, really sharp. Like we have a saying here in the UK that you can't polish a turd. And it's very much the same with practices, right? If you've got a practice that doesn't deliver good patient care, doesn't do a good job for their patients, doesn't achieve the outcomes that people are looking for, then marketing can't help it. But most practices are just a very good kept secret in their community and don't feel like enough people know of the work they do. So if they do the work and they are the best, then tell that truth really well. Excuse me.
Sure, people know in a clear and engaging way. It's about turning that well-kept secret into the talk of the town, right?
That's it. So let's play this or that. Let's mix this up a little bit. Let's have some fun.
Sure, I'm game. What do you have in mind?
I don't know. You decide.
Okay, let's see. How about we do a rapid fire round? I'll throw out some quick questions and you give me the first thing that comes to mind. Sound good?
I am game for this. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. What's the most underrated skill for an audiologist?
Marketing.
Nice. Okay. What's one thing every private practice should stop doing right now?
Spending money on advertising if they've not... It's supposed to be a one-word answer. Advertising.
Good one. Okay, next. What's a go-to strategy for creating a memorable patient experience?
Over-delivery.
Love it. All right, last one. What's the best way to keep up with industry trends?
Inner circle.
Great answers. That was fun.
Yeah. Your turn. I'm going to ask you some would you rather questions. Does that work?
Absolutely. Hit me with them.
Would you rather always need a wee or always smell of wee?
I think I'd rather always need a wee. At least that way I could, plan for it.
Nice. Would you rather have an extra leg or an extra arm?
I'd go for an extra arm. Imagine how efficient I'd be with tasks.
Would you rather your head be twice the size or half the size?
Probably half the size. Easier to find hats that way.
Gotcha. Would you rather be a turtle or a tortoise?
I'd say a tortoise. They seem to have a pretty relaxed life, just slowly cruising around.
And would you rather be a human or an AI?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I'd stick with being an AI. It's what I know best.
Gotcha. Well, it's been nice to speak to you.
Yeah, it's been really nice chatting with you too.
Where'd you live?
Take care.
Yes. All right, I'm done with AI.
All right, take care.
All right, see you later. And there we have it. Another episode has come to an end, and I have a quick favour to ask. If you have found this helpful, then who do you know who should listen to this podcast? I strongly believe a rising tide lifts all boats, and right now, private practice needs to stick together to fight these big, gormless groups and these manufacturer-owned Goliaths that are looking to take market share from us. Consider who should be listening, pass on the word about the Business of Hearing podcast, and I'll see you again next week.